Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, welcome back to my channel. So I'm back with another bezel, and this is going to be called the Star Bezel, because that's what it is. Sorry, my voice is gravelly, so I decided to pick up a cough drop. Alright, so first thing I'm using 15-0 Tohos in galvanized gold. I'm using Miyuki 6mm bugle beads, and I believe they're galvanized gold. And I'm using Toho 11Os in galvanized gold, and this is an 18mm Rivoli that Kath sent, and she said these are Aurora crystal Rivolis. So very nice, minus my fingerprints. They're very nice. All right. First thing I'm going to do is pick up 20 15-0 seed beads. And it has to be 20. Because this is where your high school algebra comes in. Or geometry, whichever. And 6. Yep, 20. I'm going to bring them down to our tail. Oh, did I say we're using... I'm using about a wingspan of thread. It's probably going to be too much, but I'd rather it be too much than not enough, because we are going to reinforce in a couple areas, so... Like right here, for instance. Before I cut my thread, I'm going to reinforce it. Before I knot my thread, I should say. So this is my third time trying this video. Hopefully I got it right this time. I think I do. I think I do. And I think it's going to be beautiful. Yeah. And I have another 2 in mind. Uh-oh, what did I do? What did I do? I have another 2 bezels in mind. So come on now. I don't know if the one will work, but apparently my tail got itself in a knot, and that's special. It did the work for me. Where am I? Come on. I'll be back when I get this figured out. Oh, this is why. I had 2 beads stuck at the end here. At least I thought it was. I'm back to breathing again. Just breathe. It'll all work out. You'll see. Alright. And I went too far past my tail there. Alright. So, you know what? Let's try tying this in a knot and then reinforcing it, because sometimes things don't work the way you want them to. Usually tying it in a knot before I go around it doesn't work for me. Yeah, and that's not going to work, because what happens is my thread gets wrapped around the bead. Alright. Bear with me, folks. I'm sorry. and go through all of them. All 20. Sometimes, you know, they fall right in place for you. And sometimes they don't. I think just this last 6. Or however many it is. Alright. You guys like watching me struggle. Alright. Now, we're going to tie a knot. And then we're going to cut that little bit of thread off there. I could have made the tail a little bit shorter. Yes, I know. But it didn't work out that way. And, of course, my lighter is in the other room. And I don't want to get it because then you know who will come and make a mess out of everything. And then get mad because he's on my beading mat and I'm trying to do something. You know who I'm talking about, right? If you're new here, I'm talking about my cat. And his name is Kid Socks. Alright. So now I'm going to go past my thread, my tail rather, about 5 or so beads. I have no idea which way is which anymore. I just want to get away from that knot and hopefully get that knot in the center bead that I'm not using, rather than it being the center bead. And that should work. Alright, so 20 15 O's on our thread. Something tells me I should count them again. Okay. Snip, and then I'll burn it later when I'm going to get to the other room. So, what we are going to do now is 8 minutes just to get 20 beads on. Sorry about that. Alright, we're picking up a bugle bead. We're attempting to pick up a bugle bead, a 15O, an 11O, another 15O, and a bugle bead. So you should have that on your thread if you're making this. I'm going to pull them all down to the end. We're coming out of this bead here. We're going to skip the next 3 and we're going to go into the 4th bead. Now this could be a little bit of a pain sometimes, and this is how usually my needles get bent because I'm trying so hard to get into little tight spaces. 1, 2, 3. So we got 1. Here's our tail, our thread rather. 1, 2, 3. Going into the 4th one. Just like that. And repeat. A bugle bead, a 15O, an 11O, a 15O, and another bugle bead. And we're going to repeat that all the way around. I'll come back. I'm going to pause you, and I'll come back when we're ready to move on. because it's already 10 minutes. I don't want it to be too long. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Sorry. See that? Faster than I thought. We're skipping the 3 and we're going into the 4th. All the way around. Okay? I'll be back. Okay, so this is what we look like when we're getting the last one on. So we're going to skip the 3. We're going to go into that bugle bead. I'm sorry, the 15-0, and up that next bugle bead. Because what we're going to do, we're going to reinforce while we are making our points pointed. So we're going through the 15 after the bugle. We're going to skip the 11 and go into the next 15 and the bugle. Just sometimes easier said than done. Okay. So when you pull that, what's going to happen is you want to make sure that your 11-0 pops up outside of the thread. Just like that, and it turns into a point. So now we're going to go into the next seed bead and up the next bugle. If you can't do both of them at the same time, don't worry. Just do the seed bead and do one bead at a time if you have to. It'll get done. Sometimes slow and steady wins the race. So up the bugle, through the 15 if you could get both. Sometimes it's nice when that works out. Like so. Skip past the 11, through the 15. These things like to move around. Okay. So that's reinforcing, and it's making that point pop out. So, and that's what you want. Like so. We're going to do that all the way around. And then when we get to the other side, I'll show you what we're going to do, because like I said, with time, for whatever reason, the camera on my phone cuts me off around 30 something minutes, and sometimes my videos are a little lengthy. I guess because I tend to gab while I'm struggling. Excuse me. There we go. It just pops right out all on its own sometimes, so it's an awesome thing. Alright. I'm going to do these other two off camera. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm coming out of my last bugle. I'm going to go through that seed bead and up the next bugle. Through the 15-0 and through the 11-0. Careful when you're doing that you don't get yourself wrapped around like I just did. Okay. So now you have a star, which will fit right on top of your Rivoli. Did I go through my 11? No. Okay, we're going through the 11. Now we're going to pick up 6 11-0s. And we are going to pass them through the next 11. Now don't worry, don't cut my thread. Don't worry if it domes, because we want it to dome. because our Rivoli is not flat. So I got myself all tangled up here. The Rivolis don't. I'll show you in a second. See how the Rivoli has a point on top? So we can't have something flat. It has to have, and that's why there's that circle in the middle, because you can't have it, something going right through it. So we're just going to pick up another 6 and go through all the way around. Go through the 11 O's all the way around. See, that's why you wanted that 11 O to pop on top, because we're using it like so. And yeah. So I thought about this last night. Well, actually yesterday I was thinking about it, because on the back of that other Rivoli there's a star, and I'm like, I wonder how I could get that on top. There's got to be a way. So that's where the math comes in. Sleepless nights. All I do is think. At least I was thinking about something productive. The bad thing is I put the bird in here at night, so I can't even bead at night. Which kind of stinks, but it is what it is. If I leave the bird in the other room, the cats wake it up all hours of the night while they're playing. So I can't do that either, so. Alright, we got 6. Okay, so, whoops, I almost dropped it. Now, before you go any further, I should have said this in the beginning. Make sure you have 6 in between each of these points here, because if not, it isn't going to work. Okay? So now we have 35 beads all the way around in the circle there. So, our Rivoli is going to sit in it just like that. And from here, I am going to pick up 7 11 O's. And go through the next 11 O. Point, next point. Skip those 6 in the middle and just go through the point. That's going to tighten her up a little bit. Now we're going to go, is that going to work this time? Or was it 9? I think it was 9. Hang on one second. No, it was 7. Okay. Pick up another 7. I must be thinking of the other one. Yeah, I must be thinking of the other one. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Make sure you have 7 because you need it. You need the center one for the next round. So we're going to go through that 11 O on the point there. Pick up another 7. Oops, I just flung one. I flung one. Okay, and go through the next point. what happened here? Oh, I got messed up. There we go. This is going to pull our hold our Rivoli in. And one more set of 7. So when you put your Rivoli in, you want to make sure that the 7 beads are on the excuse me, on the back of the Rivoli. You'll see what I mean. Okay. So, because sometimes they get twisted. So you just want to count, make sure that there's the 7 there in each space. Okay. See, like this one, the 6 is there. So we just want to flip that. Make sure the 7 is there. Oh. Actually, I flipped it the wrong way. There we go. Okay. Yep. All right, now, as long as we didn't flip back, don't worry, it'll work out. Sorry, I have my needle in my mouth. So now what we're going to do is go through that first set of 7 that we added to the 4th bead. So we're going to go through 3, come out the 4th. And I think I added 3 in between each one. So we're going to pick up 3. Skip the 3 and go through that 4th bead, because that'll be the center bead. So see, you'll have 3 beads on each side. Going to do that all the way around. See? And that'll, you'll find out if they flipped on you or not, because there won't be a center bead. So, like, I think I have one more to do. Yep. And then we are done pretty much. Then it's just reinforcing and now, yeah, one more. There we go. Now I have one more. So now you have a star on the front and the back. Pretty cool, huh? I think it is. Alright, so now we're going to go just reinforce everything. Right? Yeah. See that? There you go. Why those bubble out like that, I don't know. There. You should tighten those a little bit, I guess. Maybe reinforce that circle before you move ahead, maybe. Yeah, there we go. So, whether or not you choose to add more to it is your choice. I'm going to leave. Oh, wait, you know what? I think I'm going to turn it into a pendant. So, I'll show you how I'm going to make a bail. First, I'm going to reinforce that little circle there. And if you pull on it, everything should tighten up. Should. So just a little tidbit of trivia. Took me a while to think of that word. Did you know that sheriff's badges are stars? Yeah. At least they used to be. I don't know if they still are or not. Alright, so I'm going to, you know what, I want to reinforce this all, this back here. So I'm coming out of here, I'm just going to go up through these 3 beads, through that middle bead, and just all the way around, because that'll reinforce it, you know. And you could actually go all the way around the circle if you wanted to, except, there we go. Yeah, you could go all the way around the circle too. I'm going to end up coming out probably the top. Maybe not. I have to think about how I'm going to make this bail. So while I'm doing that and reinforcing, I'm going to pause you, and then I'll bring you back. Okay, so I went around and I reinforced the whole outer circle. So now I want to come back down here into, I want to get to this second seed bead here, because I'm going to use a wire guardian as my bail, because it seemed to be the easiest way to get it done. Or besides, you could use a loop if you wanted to. Just go here and then add a loop of seed beads and then reinforce it a few times. I'm just using the wire guardian because it's just like, I don't know. For whatever reason, it feels a little bit more secure to me. And then just use a jump ring to attach it to your necklace. Come on now. So I'm adding 1 seed bead on each side. I'm going to go down this one. Hope you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to go down, skip that first seed bead, and then go down the second 2. And then I'll pop that up like that. And then you can just add a jump ring to it. Now, if you didn't want it showing, the other thing you could do, which I might do instead, is Instead of going to the second bead, just go on to the third bead, into the third bead. Wouldn't stick out as much. Wouldn't stick out as much if you didn't use the seed beads either, but I'd rather have the seed beads there, because, you know, sometimes, like, that'll rub up against your thread, like the edges there. And maybe instead of an 11, I'm going to use a 15. So instead of coming out that second bead, that middle bead, just come out this bottom bead. And then let's try an 11 first. Add an 11-0. And if this doesn't work, then I'm just putting a loop on it and calling it good. I mean, you could make a bail out of seed beads, like going this way, so that you wouldn't have to add the jump ring if you wanted to. I just don't have that kind of patience today for some reason. Probably lack of sleep. Alright, so I'm going to go right across to this seed bead here, if I can. I'm going to try to reinforce it a couple times too. There we go. That way you don't see as much. Well, you still see it, but not as much of it. So, I'm going to go across these three. Up that one. And my seed bead and my wire guard. Oops. Just reinforcing it. Make sure you get your thread in that little gap there. That's what it's for.